Okay, so here's a brief overview of one of the PICU rooms, a nicely well-equipped room. Has to be because of the indications of the drug, but also because Phoenix is on a ventilator. But these rooms can be very expensive. All right, well, speaking of expensive, this is Myozyme. And right now, Phoenix is getting 800 milligrams of Myozyme. I know that that's not too much in the grand scheme of things. He's only weighs 50 pounds. He just turned 50 pounds, and obviously this goes up as your weight goes up. So not too bad as of yet. I think that 800 milligrams, I think it's somewhere around $15,000 or so. It's pretty expensive throughout the year. It's just gonna, as it gets bigger, get more and more expensive. But you got to be real careful with it. Obviously, it says do not shake, and they have a bag over it. They don't want it to aggregate. They don't want the proteins to aggregate there. And I got a close up of the drip chamber here just to see if you can see some of these little aggregation. They look like little tiny hairs in there, which actually later in the day you could start to see them form on that day, which they usually don't. This is his infusion pump. Right now he's going at 20 milliliters an hour. We just started, so he starts at 20, then he goes to 40, and then he finishes at 60 mLs an hour. Here's his monitor showing his EKG, respiratory rate, oxygen saturation, pulse, all the good vitals. And here's Phoenix getting his infusion and playing with his DVD player, which is by far his favorite toy. We just kind of keep him going with DVDs. He loves it. And we need it for such a long infusion day. You're silly, man. You're about silly. So after the long day, we get in the car, we take a ride home, and we go get ready for a bath. Okay, I wanted to show this video because a lot of people wonder how you give a child who is on a ventilator a bath. This is the way we do it when he's sitting up. Obviously you want to keep the tubing sort of away from the water and him out of the water, but this is one of the ways we do it while he's sitting up. Yeah? Can you say bath time? Bath time? Good job. So that's how we do it when he's sitting up. The next frame will be him laying down. He's laying down, a little bit more flotation this way. Obviously, he loves, feeling sort of weightless like this. You can see his lower extremities are floating in deeper water. The tub is actually stepped up. You can't really tell here, but up above his chest is a higher step than the lower, so his lower part of his body is floating, and the upper isn't. This kind of restricts his arms a little bit. So I have another way I do it where I slide him down, but the important thing is here to see that the trach is obviously above water. You want to keep the trach above water. It's about 2 inches out of the water, but here I'm going to slide him down, and now you can see his legs are sort of pushed off to one side there, but he's a lot lower in the tub, and he has a lot more freedom with his arms. I think he enjoys this method better, and again, as long as you keep your eye on the trach area, he can't get too rambunctious to where it can become a problem. But yeah, at first it is tricky to learn how to do this, and you have to be pretty confident, in your ability to handle him with the trach. But he certainly loves it. It's one of his favorite things to do, playing in the tub. Can you look at Daddy? Good. Good job. Good. Okie dokie. Alrighty then. Well, here you can see I'm putting Phoenix in his stander. He goes in his stander usually twice a day for about 2 hours a day. And right now I'm working on his feet. So when I put him in, I sort of start from his feet up. I make sure his feet are nice and straight and flat and square, and that they're in there correctly and seated correctly. And then I'll go up to his knees, which I think I already have the knee brace already started, but then I'll sort of finalize it. And then after you get his knees situated, you kind of work your way up to his hips. But you really got to make sure that everything is nice and straight. It's imperative that the kids that go in standers, that if you put them in incorrectly, obviously you're going to be dealing with deformities later on. So, part of the reason why we put him in the stander, he actually likes being in the stander. He's been in the stander since he was, I think, 18 months old. Every day he's been in the stander since he was 18 months old. And this is his third stander. He had a little tiny version of one of these when he first started, but he just likes to be standing like that. He has a tray there that he can play with his DVD player, and watch movies on the computer. We can go on the computer from the stander. Pretty much everything. We go outside, and it's just a different piece of equipment that he has to use. But it's better than just sitting or laying down. It's an alternative position that I think is very good for a lot of kids that are limited with mobility. That you have to be able to change them around throughout the day. I think it's definitely better for development, as most physical therapists will say. Coming up here in a couple seconds, you're going to see I'm going to test Phoenix to try to lift his arms up and put him on this tray that I just put on. He used to be able to pick his arms up on his own, and he could lift them up on the tray one at a time. And I don't know if it's a combination of him getting weaker and his arms getting longer, but in any event, he's no longer able to put his arms on the tray. He tries, he gets a little frustrated, but he still tries all the time, and I still try to test him quite often. Only some at a time. It's okay? Okay? Oh, you want your hands up? Can you put your hands up? Can you put one up? Can you put that one up? Try to lift it up. Try to lift it up. You can't lift it up. Can you lift it up? Can you lift that one up? Can you try your right? No? Okay. Yeah,